Alright, so all 10 super rares and the 2 secret rares have been revealed for OP-08. So in this video, we're gonna go through every single one of them, every single one of the cards. There are 12 cards in total, and talk about like the archetypes, the kind of effects, how it's gonna play out in the overall metagame. There's some really powerful ones in here, and it leads to like really interesting archetypes. Talk about you, Chopper, and stuff that I can't wait to kind of see being played in a metagame. So I'm gonna make the intro quick so we can just jump in, talk about the cards, starting with Chopper. Alright, just for the sake of ease of kind of editing the video on my end, shout out to One Piece Top Decks. All the translations you can find on their website, not only limited to the super rare, but for the other rares as well. So if you want to take a look, OnePieceTopDecks.com. Shout out to you, my friend. So this is Tony Chopper. It's a red super rare. It's the only red super rare from this set. It's a 3-cost, 5000 power, and during your turn on play and when attacking, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and from among them, play up to 1 animal type character with a power of 4000 or less as rested, then place the rest of the cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. So we've already spoken slightly about this during the OP-08 trailer reveal. This is a card that's gonna be, you know, it's not only a on-play searcher, it's an when attacking searcher, and it plays up something for free. So if you're thinking about going wide with red-green Chopper in the future, this is the card that you need to pick up. There are some other cards that have been revealed that I'm not going to mention in this video, but it does boost up the power level of the Chopper. And like realistically, there is a build of a red-green Chopper tribal deck, and I'm really excited for it. Once the kind of full list is out, that is probably the deck that I'm gonna try out first, just for funsies. I mean, because it's I don't think it's super expensive to build. You just probably need a Chopper SR and some of the like event cards, but it exists. Chopper tribal exists thanks to this card and some others, so look out for it. But either way, I think this kind of shoehorns itself into the red-green Chopper archetype. I don't think any other card or any other type wants to play, unless you're playing a very weird red purple law variant that has animals in it. I don't know, someone might do it, but other than that, I think this is a cute Chopper. Can't wait to see the alternate art. So let's jump into the next one, which is Carrot. All right, so green also only has one SR, and it's Carrot. On play and when attacking, up to one of your opponent's rested cost 7 or less characters do not become active during its owner's next refresh phase. Yeah, this is, we've spoken about this before. Okay, 5 cost, 6000 power, counter 1000, so it's pretty solid in the 5 cost slot, you know, super rare. The fact that it's on play and when attacking is what makes it like a slightly more effective card than like Jewelry Bonnie. Jewelry Bonnie affects anything. This affects 7 or less. There is a cost stipulation there, but you have, you know, multiple chances to activate Carrot's ability, and then combining it with like if you can restand Carrot, attack again, and you can lock down a couple of things, that makes Carrot really good. I've spoken about Carrot as well in the OP-08 trailer reveal video, so we're gonna skip kind of the cards that work well with Carrot. So let's just jump into like the other super rares that we have not spoken about. All right, so blue also only has one super rare in the form of Edward Newgate. So Whitebeard is here, 10 cost, 12,000 power Whitebeard, so really Yonko level already. On play, if your leader type includes Whitebeard Pirates and you have 2 or less life cards, until the end of your opponent's next turn, all of your opponent's characters cannot attack unless they first discard 2 cards from your hand. Talk about locking down a white board. You know, against like the Chopper Tribal that goes white, you play this Edward Newgate, they gotta discard 2 cards for every attack the character wants to do, which is, no, that's a big ask. 2 cards? No way. I'm not attacking my characters at all. But yeah, the fact of the matter is that this belongs in you know, any blue shell, but I think red, blue, Marco the Phoenix is probably where it's going to end up. And the fact is, like, yeah, your opponent can still attack with the leader. So if you can get to the point, especially against something like red purple law, where you know they're going a little bit wider, and you drop Edward Newgate down, you can potentially buy yourself some time and kind of stabilize the board that way, either with like Marco's removal the next turn, or like, you know, using Whitebeard to attack into, you know, maybe there's like some rested characters or anything. I don't know. Blue has removal, red has removal, so that's another way that you can play it. We also spoken about Whitebeard before, but I really like this artwork. I think the previous one we showed like the alternate art, both artworks pretty great. So let's move on. All right, next is my girl Big Mom. Okay, so purple has two super rares, Charlotte Linlin and Black Maria, which we'll talk about. Charlotte Linlin 9 cost, 9000 power. On play, Dawn -1. Trash 1 card from the from your hand. Add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. Then place up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less to the top or bottom of its owner's life face up. I like 9 Mom. I think this is a very great addition to something like Pudding, or even in the new King Leader deck. Being able to Dawn -1, just discard 1 card from your hand. Being able to heal, that's important, and also putting something from your opponent's side of the field. It has to be 6 or less, unfortunately, but you still get rid of it. It puts it at the top or bottom of the owner's life. So it's removal, it's life gain, and it's a great big body on the field. I can see a world where, you know, Pudding especially, you can ramp up 7 cost, 9 cost, 10 cost Mom. Just, it's a Big Mom tribal, you know. Maybe that's the deck that I will play. I love Big Mom. So yeah, I think there's a kind of utility for this deck because you can kind of save a little bit of space. You don't need to necessarily play Katakuri, but it shines even better in like King, where you can actually reduce the cost of some of your higher costed opponent's characters. Like an 8 cost, use King's ability, becomes a 6, use Big Mom. Yeah, you know. Unfortunately it's 9 cost, so you need to like -2. You can't get it back. I mean, there are situations where you can activate. It takes a while to get there. Like, you know, if you have used a skate on the field, you use King's ability, -2, you get 1 Dawn back. You can play Charlotte's Lin 9 cost, assuming you have all 10 Dawns, of course. But yeah, if not, then you can just play it straight up as a big bad boss monster. Really good stuff. I like this Lin. I'm not really sure if it's gonna be like the super hype playable super rare of the set. People are gonna try her out, and then we'll see if the metagame calls for it. Right now it's kind of like a mid-tier. Like, if the metagame kind of like doesn't expect Charlotte Lin, this is gonna be a great card. If they kind of do it, the metagame kind of ends up being like a lot of high costed characters, then Charlotte Lin, you know, you can use it for the life gain. That's pretty good, but that's about it. Okay, yeah, but still, Dawn -1, trash 1 card, and gain 1 life. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. So it's a little bit small, but this is a little bit of a preview of how her alternate art looks like. Pretty menacing. I mean, love it when what that tongue do. I mean, Big Mom. Okay, you know what? We're moving on. All right, to the next card, which is Black Maria, the second purple super rare from OP-08. It's a 3 cost, 2000 power, special attribute with counter 2000. So utility, straight up. So activate main once per turn. If you have no other Black Maria, add up to 5 Dawn cards from your Dawn deck as rested. Just gain 5 Dawn, just like that. Then at the end of your turn, return Dawn cards from your field to the Dawn deck until the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to the number on your opponent's field. So there are a lot of things you can do with Black Maria. Few things. Number 1, Purple Kaido. I think I mentioned this before in a previous video. Purple Kaido, you can kind of get 5 Dawns and then just use Purple Kaido's -7 ability, and then yeah, you you just can do it easily with Black Maria. You can even do it a bit earlier than, like, you don't have to Onigashima your way up. Second is like maybe potentially Red Purple Law can include Black Maria as a utility piece to get 5 Dawns, use Trafalgar Law's ability to minus Dawn and then like return something to the bottom of the deck and then play out something for free. Yeah, so there's a lot of utility. This is probably the kind of new purple staple that people might need to pick up a playset of. Because not only is the ability good, it's a plus 2000 counter, so definitely warrants playables. Definitely is a playable card for sure. Yeah, I can't wait to see like how the meta kind of changes with Black Maria's inclusion, especially with all the other purple decks that currently exist. Will Purple Luffy be using something like this? I don't think so. Mostly I see it in like Kaido. I know like King's gonna use it. I know like maybe even Pudding's gonna use it. And yeah, this is going to be a great utility piece for anyone in the future, for purple at least. All right, the next card I'm going to talk about is actually Kaido. So Kaido, I don't believe there is a normal artwork of him just revealed yet. I might be wrong, you know, from the time of recording this video, but you can see that's like a beastly version of him right here with his arms crossed. Looks super good. So I'm just going to scroll down to his effect. Kaido is a black super rare. So black's going to get 2 super rares, Kaido being one of them, Jack being another. So 9 cost, 9000 power, and activate main once per turn. You may discard 1 card from your hand. If this character was played this turn, place up to one of your opponent's cost 7 or lower characters in the trash. then your opponents discard one card from the hand. So there's a little bit of kind of a question regarding in the community regarding the ruling of this. So I have a few of my own. Let's wait till the proper translation before we kind of have an idea on like how it's like exactly, because right now it says place. It's not KO. So would that kind of affect those that can't be KO? Is it just like you're placing into the trash? I'm pretty sure it's gonna be KO'd. So there we go. But the question that the community had instead was that because the cost of the ability is, that means after the colon is, if this character was played this turn, does that mean that if you discard one card from hand, like in the subsequent turn, can your opponent still discard a card from the hand? So like you're discarding one card from your hand so that your opponent discards one card from the hand. It doesn't work that way because it is part of like the stipulation of the cost that Kaido has to be played this turn. So you play Kaido, you discard a card from your hand, and Kaido, if it's played this turn, which it is, then you can KO one of your opponents 7 costs or lower, and then your opponent discards one card from the hand. So that's the kind of the one of the judges on Twitter actually confirmed it. So shout out to that guy. Yeah, what I want to say is that this Kaido is actually pretty strong. The ability to KO one of your opponent's 7 costs or lower characters, and also to discard a card from the hand, just you know, with the cost of discarding a card of your own, it's really good. And you know, like if in black, discarding cards is not an issue whatsoever. You know what card you can discard? Rob Lucci. You know what you can play the next turn? Something like Rebecca. Something like yeah, you know how it's like Sakazuki, where you want to fuel out your trash. Kaido kind of is the top end, but you can still fuel your trash to play like your Rebeccas into Rob Lucci. Yeah, that's kind of disgusting for black, but it's still a really good super rare in my opinion, because maybe there is a version out there, a deck out there that's gonna come out that deals with hand destruction. We already have some black cards from OP-07, like the Moria cards, the event cards, that kind of directly target the cards in your opponent's hand. We got the Isho, Fujitora, super rare as well. So I don't know. I would love to live in a world where we can play hand destruction type decks against Nami. Okay, that's what I want to do. That's the world I want to live in. All right, Kaido is talked about. Let's talk about the next one, which is Jack. All right, here we go. So Jack was one of the first few super rares that was revealed. I think we have a more updated image, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, if not, then you know, we'll just wait for the official image plus the alternate art. So 7 costs, 8,000 power, pretty good. And this character has plus 4 costs, so immediately it's an 11 cost character. That's an anti-black tech right there. Activate main, you may invest this card, draw 1 card and trash 1 card from your hand, then KO up to one of your opponent's cost 3 or lower characters. You're in black, you know, you can reduce the cost of certain characters by X amount to make it like 3 or lower, which is great. And yeah, this is a great card. You know, like late game wise, if you're not attacking with Jack, that's fine. You can just rest it, draw 1, trash 1, you get to filter a little bit of your hand, and you get to KO some of your opponent's characters. So knowing like the people who like to play black, the value that they like to accumulate by, you know, having cost reducers, having things that can KO and fuel up your trash and drawing new cards, Jack just answers it like immediately, because it does it all. An important thing is that you can put the card in the trash and you're in black, boom, you can get it back with a Rebecca or anything similar to like the Kaido situation. But yeah, Jack is really powerful as well, so that's pretty cool. I can't wait to see like finally a good Jack card. Okay, there were other Jack cards that were good, but like yeah, Jack, okay, cool. Let's move on to the last color of the One Piece card game. For this set, we have 3 yellow super rares. All right, the first one being Jewelry Bonnie. All right, so 3 costs 4,000 power. We've come to 1,000. Specifically has the Egghead type and Bonnie Pirates. Dawn 1, your turn once per turn. When your opponent loses a life, draw 2 cards and discard 1 card from your hand. The trigger ability is draw 2 cards and discard 1 card from your hand. I can see a world where this is good. I mean, like, I believe Vegapunk can still play this out easily. Yeah, so I just checked again because it's been a while since I played Vegapunk. Yes, you can play out just Bonnie. So early game, you can set it up, and then after that, put a bunch of dons on Bonnie, swing in, because Vegapunk, you can use one for the ability. The rest of the dons is just play out stuff. So early game is actually pretty good. You first turn, play out Bonnie. Second turn, you had 3 dons, put 2 dons onto Bonnie, swing for 6k. If your opponent doesn't counter it, then you draw 2 and discard 1. So, but your opponent's probably going to play around it. But yeah, it's a good utility. Draw 2, discard 1, and you can even play into your life so that you can filter through. I think that's what Vegapunk needed. Vegapunk suffers from the lack of card draw because you end up kind of, putting the cards in hand into life, into field. You end up running out of cards very, very fast. So this way, you get a chance to kind of draw 2 and pitch something that you don't need. So yeah, Bonnie is a very good inclusion for Vegapunk decks. Can't wait to see, more of this type of cards for yellow. For Vegapunk specifically, not for yellow. Vegapunk just needs help with card draw. Okay? Essentially, that's it. Next, we have Egghead Nami. How many Nami SR / alternate art do we need? I don't know. Where's my Nico Robin alternate art? Not Miss All Sunday, Nico Robin. Anyway, this Nami artwork is hella cute. Shout out to the artist. Was that Sunohara? Lovely stuff. So Nami is a 5 cost, 5,000 power. Egghead, so that's pretty good. Counter 1,000. On play, you may trash 1 card with a trigger from your hand. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Then if your hand has 3 or less cards in it, draw 1 card. So same thing. For Vegapunk specifically, you have ways to draw a card. If you have 3 or less cards, Vegapunk will have 3 or less cards. From what I know, you just get stuck if you if you're not countering heavily. You may have a couple of cards in hand, but you tend to run out of gas really easily with Vegapunk. That's why I stopped playing it. But with this, maybe we can get it back. We can get it back on track. Bonnie, Nami, ways that we can draw cards, keep filling up our hand, and then just start playing these characters down. But the on-play ability as well is pretty good because it's a removal. You don't necessarily need to play Luffy now, the Luffy yellow SR. You can just play this, discard 1 card from your hand, and then try something that's 5 or less. There is utility. The funny thing is that this is kind of like a very, very solid silver bullet against green decks who Jory Bonnie, who likes to play the 5 cost supernovas. Bring in the Namis. There we go. So that's great. I love the artwork. I can't wait to see the alternate art. I know it's going to be one of the other chasers of the set, but there we go. All right, next up we have Snake. So Seraphim, Boa, Hancock. At this point, it's all spoilers everywhere. So I apologize if you guys don't know. If you're not caught up with the anime or the if you are caught up with the anime, you probably wouldn't know as well. But if you're not caught up with the manga, then yeah, I'm sorry. This is just a spoiler for you. But there is a Seraphim version of Boa Hancock. This one's called Snake. 5 cost, 6,000 power. Egghead and Seraphim. Counter 1,000. On play, up to one of your opponent's characters with cost of 6 or less other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. Yeah, very, very good card. It's kind of like locking down. It's like Boa's ability to lock down characters, but in yellow. So yeah, but it has to be 6 or less. So there are limits in the target, but it's still a really powerful card, and you can play it out with Vegapunk's ability easily. The trigger ability is activate this card's on play effect. So meaning that you are not playing this card out, you are just activating the effect, locking down something, and then yeah, it goes to the trash. So which is good. It can kind of save you in some situations, like a mini bait or something like that. So yeah, great SR. I think they are trying to kind of boost up the power level of Vegapunk with the set. I 100% think that Vegapunk needs the support because it's not really a contender in the overall OP-07 metagame just because of the lack of card draw, lack of card advantage, especially in the late game. You may have 12 life, but if your opponent knows what's in there and they can just kind of play around it, yeah, these cards are necessary. So that's good. Yellow has 3 SRs. That's all of the super rares. Now let's talk about the secret rares from OP-08. And we're gonna start with this banger right here. It's Big Mom and Kaido. So the SEC is Kaido and Lilin. I'm gonna post a picture of the original artwork. This is the alternate art. I'm gonna make a point that I actually prefer the normal artwork over the alternate art. I wish the art was swapped because the normal artwork goes pretty hard, but you know, this is kind of cool as well. Anyway, Kaido and Lin is a 10 cost 12,000 power secret rare, and let's scroll down for the effect. So it's when attacking, -10 Dawn, KO all other characters, then put up to 1 card from the top of your deck on your life pile and trash up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life pile. So what if Big Mom, 10 cost Mom, and 10 cost Kaido from OP-01 just kind of spoosh together and become 1 card? This is your answer. This is a what if situation, but it's actually a real card. The problem with this, it's when attacking. So the community is kind of divided on this because if it's on play, boom, this card would be an immediate like great boss monster, because -10 Dawn is not a big deal when you have stuff like Mr. Skid, when you have stuff like Onagashima that you can kind of ramp up. You can play this in like red, purple Luffy technically, because yeah, when you're at 0 Dawn, you can just use Luffy's ability to kind of get back to 1 Dawn. There are ways to kind of circumvent the -10 Dawn. That's for sure. But it needs to survive a turn on the field because it's when attacking, it's not on play. So that being said, I still think this is a really powerful card because the moment you cannot deal with this card, the turn it drops down, what people have been saying is that the next turn, you play something like a 5 cost Sabo. All of your stuff can't be KO'd. All of your all the characters, like you have 10 Dawns to play with. You can play a 5 cost Sabo, you can play something else, and then -10 Dawn, KO all other characters. So your opponent's stuff will be bought, wiped, and then your own stuff will be okay. The problem is your opponent can play a 5 cost Sabo on their turn, so then you don't -10, right? If that happens, if your opponent plays a 5 cost Sabo, then you don't -10. You just swing. It's still a 12k body. If your opponent doesn't get rid of this within like the next subsequent turns, then this is going to be still a really, really powerful card, because it's, if your opponent's had one life, okay, then you can kill all other characters. Even if they don't KO, you can get rid of the last life with an attack and then be swinging in for 12k. So that's how insanely powerful this card is. And I love it as a secret rare. It's one of those over the top secret rares. I hope it becomes playable. I really hope this is the boss monster that people will defect to. If not, I'm going to defect to it. I'm going to play it in pudding or something like that, because I think it's going to be super, super good. Yeah, let me be the fanboy for this one. All right. Okay, Kaido and Lin. And the last card that we're going to talk about today is Silver's Rayleigh, guys. The Silver's Rayleigh is our secret rare, our other secret rare, yes, because it's 2 legends and also drawn by the amazing Akira Egawa. 8 cost, 8,000 power, has the ability of on play, choose up to 2 of your opponent's characters until the end of your opponent's next turn, give one character -3,000 power and then the other -2,000 power. After this, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a power of 3,000 or lower. So it's red doing red things. This is an extremely red card. The only thing that's missing from this card is Rush. I think I mentioned that in my tweet when this card was revealed. Like, if it had Rush, bro, if it had Rush, this would be such a great card. It's a good card nonetheless. You can give something -3k, you can give something -2k. Using like red, purple law, you can minus something and then KO something. You can KO one thing that's 3,000 power or less and then like return to the bottom deck with loss ability. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I maybe, but yeah, I think that there's a lot of potential for Silver's Rayleigh. It's just that minus power plus KO has not been like really popular in the current like landscape of the meta game, which is why it's kind of like a bit lackluster. Like, imagine this versus like something like a Gecko Moria super rare, where you can have an 8 cost, have a 4 cost, have a 2 cost, or have a 4 cost that brings back another 4 cost, like a Rebecca or something. So yeah, there's like it. Gecko Moria is broken, but this is kind of very fair. It's strong, but it's very fair. So we have to kind of wait and see to whether other cards will complement Rayleigh in the future, in the long run. Then that would kind of influence whether this is like going to be like a meta stay. Either way, this card is awesome. Like, the artwork it's great, and like I can't wait to see the alternate art of this. And because like the current trends, it might be a secret that's getting the manga. It could be a manga Rayleigh this time. But I'm hoping for a manga Big Mom and manga Kaido, man. Let's go. If we had a manga Kaido and Lin, whew, that would be great. But I wouldn't be disappointed if it was Silver's Rayleigh, because he's still a good guy. Cool guy. All right, and that's all of the super rares, all 10 super rares from OP-08 and the 2 secret rares from OP-08, the 2 legends. Let me know which one's your favorite. Let me know which one's good. Like, which one do you think is going to be meta breaking or defining? I like me some purple big moms. Now we got 2. Okay, we got a 10 cost Lin Lin and Kaido, and then we got a 9 cost Charlotte Lin Lin. So I'm kind of happy with it. I think it's strong. I think the list of SRs and, you know, all of the secrets are not bad. Like they are definitely standout ones, but yeah, overall I think, you know, nothing like, oh, this is gonna be like the meta defining. When I first saw, like, you know, something like Gecko Moria, I think the yellow cards are great. I think Vegapunk's gonna get a big boost in the set. Whether or not people are going to play him, that's another thing altogether. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I am going to be going over all of the cards once the full list is out. I think it's like next week or the week after. And then we're going to do an opening as usual for OP-08. So I'm really, really excited about that. But till the next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.